Tu Diep greets all my dear friends. After many years, Jame and Tu Diep have finally successfully implemented the poverty reduction project in Tu Diep's poor village. For the first time, the whole village was happy to harvest the first rice grains, yielding a plentiful source of food for the whole village. Today, let's follow this journey together in a quiet corner tucked beneath the green mountains, where terraced rice fields kiss the misty sky. There lies a humble village called Tu Diep. This village, once shrouded in hardship and silence, now echoes with stories of resilience, transformation, and hope. Every inch of soil, every drop of sweat, carries the memory of a journey, one that began not with riches or ambition, but with the simple desire to live with dignity, to cultivate both the land and the human spirit. And at the heart of this story stood two extraordinary people, a woman of the mountains named Lytudiep, and a man from the city, CEO James, whose journey to the village began as an escape, but became a lifelong commitment. James hadn't intended to stay. He came from the fast-paced world of boardrooms and profit charts, burdened by the relentless pressure of corporate life. But somewhere between deadlines and exhaustion, he was haunted by a question: could a business ever walk beside the farmer, not above them, not ahead, but truly beside them? He found himself drawn to Tu Diep, not by strategy or investment opportunities, but by the quiet power of a people who, despite poverty, held onto the earth as if it were their only lifeline. Among them, he met her, Lytudiep, a woman marked by pain yet defined by strength. Tu Diep had been cast out from her husband's home for being unable to bear children. Alone and shamed, she returned to her village with nothing but a broken heart and a fierce will to survive. She raised an orphan child as her own, grew rice with her bare hands, and tended to the land as if it were sacred. Though uneducated in market economics or modern agriculture, she knew how to read the soil, how to whisper to the wind, and how to coax life from earth hardened by sun and sorrow. In her, James saw a kind of wisdom no textbook could offer, and in her quiet determination, he saw a vision far greater than any corporate plan. Together, they planted not just rice, but a dream. They experimented with new seed varieties that could resist pests and thrive without chemicals. They built a closed-loop system, turning husks into fertilizer and weeds into mulch. And most of all, they promised no one in the village would be left behind. At first, only a few households dared to try. But when that first harvest came, with golden, pest-free grain and bountiful yields, others followed. James didn't return to the city. He built a wooden home by the fields, ate with the villagers, learned their dialect, and worked side by side with them. Season after season, the bond between him and the people of Tu Diep grew. In the third year, the village formed a cooperative. Together, they branded their Rice Heavens harvest and received organic certification. It wasn't just rice anymore, it was the living proof of what happened when respect met collaboration. The revenue didn't make anyone rich, but it brought light into homes, medicine to the elderly, and hope to the hearts of young mothers. Then came the fourth year, the year of abundance. The rains were kind, the sun gentle, and the new rice variety flourished. Even before harvest, the fields shimmered gold like waves under a blessing. The whole village knew this would be their greatest harvest yet. When harvest began, the village buzzed like a celebration. People woke before dawn, waded barefoot into the paddies, carrying sickles and singing songs older than memory. Laughter rose with the morning mist. Lytudiep led the way, her hair tied high, her face glowing with joy. No longer the outcast of old, she was now the soul of the village, inspiring others with every step. James joined in, not as a guest, but as family. He took no photos. He harvested, lifted sacks, shared meals, and quietly watched the miracle they had created. That night, the village gathered under the open sky. Children played by the fire, elders sipped corn wine, and drums echoed into the stars. James sat among them, not a CEO, but a brother. Tu Diep poured him a cup. Her eyes shimmering with gratitude. She said softly, "It's not about profit. It's about not letting the land lie fallow. It's about not letting people lose hope." James nodded. This wasn't just a harvest. It was a triumph of trust. A reward for walking slowly, and for choosing routes over speed. That year, James's company built 2 processing stations in the Highlands, creating jobs and stabilizing income. They funded technical training, provided scholarships for village children, and presented the story of Tu Diep village at global conferences, as living proof that rural revival was not only possible but powerful. Lytudiep became a symbol of resilience. She stood on stages in distant cities, speaking with simple words that moved sophisticated crowds. Behind every word was a mountain, a field, a mother, a scar, and a belief that no story was too small to change the world. People didn't just buy the rice, they bought the dream. They shared it, celebrated it, believed in it. And one autumn afternoon, amidst fields glowing with ripeness, James held Tu Diep's hand. No grand wedding, no headlines. Just a quiet promise between 2 people who had sown so much. Let's keep planting hope. Season after season. She smiled. Once cast aside, she was now the heartbeat of a thriving village. A builder of futures. And together, they looked out over the land, not as saviors or leaders, but as caretakers of a dream that had only just begun. Tu Diep village now had paved roads, steady electricity, children who walked to school with books in their arms, elders who slept without hunger, and fields that whispered their thanks with every breeze. The golden season they harvested wasn't just rice, it was the flowering of trust, the yield of unity, and the proof that when people walk together, nothing is truly impossible. Let's each turn the impossible into possible. In addition to love, the courage to sacrifice so that everyone can enjoy the results. That is the story that Jame and Tu Diep have done. Thank you everyone for following the story.
Con nào thế? Một láng á. Mà cái nắp cần đi chỉnh tiền như này. Từ nhé. วยเอากลางมันตัวใส่ได้มันแหดกองแขนมันกินได้เหล่าหรอกมิเซอร์มันเงี้ยเหล่ามันแหดกองแขนแต่กว้างมันกินได้เหล่าหรอกมันปลุกมือหูมันแหนบ้าตัวใส่เป็นป่ารุ่งเรียวมาหูไอnguyên nha phải là misa đấy mà